What is up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of FitBizU. I'm your host, Jill Coleman, and it is this week coming up, this coming Friday, Thursday, February 5th. We're getting started with Post to Profits. This is my 100% free 8-day business intensive for those who want to start or grow their online coaching business. Y'all, this ain't like a little freebie. This is a full-on business education. We're going to be spending 8 days together. I am so excited. If you have not joined yet, please do that at the link in the show notes. We get started this coming Thursday. Super pumped about that. And once you enroll, we have a private community. Everyone's been introducing themselves. We're getting started. I can't wait. All right. Today's episode, let's talk about it. This is actually a question that came in from the Instagram question box. And I'm going to combine two questions I got in the box because I feel like they're kind of related. This one says, how do you get out of stuck mode? You know you want to start, but you just can't. You know you want to start, but you just can't. And then someone else asked in the same question box, how to know if you want a business versus just spending all your time being an informer. So anyway, I followed up with her because I didn't know what she meant by informer. And she said, basically, I know a lot about health and fitness. I had my own transformation and I'm the go-to person within my friend group and family group when it comes to health and fitness, but I have another job and I don't know if I want to start my own business. These are good questions. So we're going to focus on this, how to get out of stuck mode. And you know that you want to start, but you just can't. And how do you go all in on your business? How do you get yourself to go all in? And I feel like there's a lot of mindset stuff happening that I want to address. And I'm going to give you some actual tactical solutions as well. And I will say this is really relevant right now because we are enrolling for Post to Profits, which is 100% free. I think this is a good place to start. If you are like, I want to do my own business or I'm thinking about it, but I really just want to know, is this for me? And I need to start getting some movement. Because it's low stakes, y'all. It's 100% free. So at the end of that, if you just decide yeah, this is for me or this is not for me, now you know, right? There's not any wasted time or money. Okay. So my initial thoughts on this question of how do I get out of stuck mode and finally go all in is that you're making it too big in your head. And I have been seeing this more and more in the last couple of years when it comes to online business is I'm seeing people applying all or nothing thinking to starting a business. The same way that we would apply all or nothing thinking to our eating or exercise, where it's well, if I'm going to start a diet, I need to make sure I'm doing it perfectly. Or if I'm going to start training, I got to go to the gym every single day. I think what I'm starting to see when it comes to starting a business is people are making it very big and very complicated. And it's actually very simple to start a business. You could literally, quote, start your business by just posting something on the internet, by posting a piece of content. Here's my top tip for eating healthy at lunch, right? It could be so simple. The business that we are in, that's all it requires. So what I mean by that is you do not need to, if you, of course, eventually you want to get your LLC and you want to get, your business account at the bank and, all those kind of things, but not right now. You don't need to do that right now. It's 100% free to post content on the internet and start to showcase your expertise. I've said this before that when people will say I'm so excited to start my business, I'm starting my business next month. I'm like, what do you mean next month? Why? What's happening next month? It's almost as if people are treating it like a ribbon cutting. I'm officially starting my business. Now, you can do that if you want to, but I'm here to tell you that it's not like a grand opening when you have a grand opening of a restaurant or a store or a storefront or something. It's not the same thing. I mean, you can do that if you want to get people excited within your, friends, family, acquaintances, people are following you. I think it's always nice to let people know you're doing this, that you're available for coaching. But it's not as if when you cut the ribbon, there's going to be a line around the block to work with you. I wish there was. I'm just be honest with you guys. I wish there was. Now, of course, there are people in your ecosystem like that second gal asked, I'm the kind of the person in my friends and family group who everyone goes to when it comes to health and fitness. I'm like, great. Chances are if you told people hey, I'm actually doing coaching now, you would have clients immediately, right? You would have clients immediately, but it's not like you're having 20 clients immediately or 50 clients immediately. You probably have a handful. and you'll go, okay, great. I'm going to take on this handful of clients, these 2, 3, 5 people. I'm going to figure it out. I promise you, it is not nearly as overwhelming and big and doesn't have nearly the amount of anxiety that you are making it up in your head. Now, I know this is a little bit hard to conceptualize. Like, it's easy for me to say this. Like, I think it's simple to start your business. You just post on the internet. What I think is hard is all the anxiety around starting your business, right? The fears of like, am I doing it right? The fears of like, how do I take money, right? The fears of like, I don't know how to do it. I don't know if my content is good. What will people think? Am I even good enough to do this? Am I really credible? What if it doesn't work? I don't want to waste time and money, right? It's all actually the considerations around starting the business, which again, you're not signing up for life when you start your business by posting on the internet. It's not like you're saying, okay, I'm just doing this for the rest of my life. And there's no turning back or pivoting or learning or changing or iterating. Like plenty of people go, I think I want to do this. And then, 6 months later, a year later, they just go, maybe it's not for me. Or maybe I'm going to change how I'm doing it. Or maybe I want to be a coach for somebody else. And of course, there's plenty of people who are coaches for other people and want to strike out on their own. So I think it is more the anxiety and the unknowns and the uncertainties around starting the business. Because starting the business is simple. Post on the internet. Great, you've started. Like, congratulations. No ribbon cutting. If you want to announce it for your friends and family to alert them, I think that's really nice. But when people say, I don't know if I'm good enough to do it, I'm like, do what? Like, post? Of course you are. Right? All you need to do is post any little tool, tip, insight, strategy, whatever. You're good enough to do that. But again, I think there's this level of, proficiency that we expect of ourselves. So when someone says, I don't know if I'm good enough to do it, I'm like, what? Make $1 million? Like, maybe not right now because you don't know the skill yet. But could you eventually? Sure. But right now, you are good enough to help somebody who's a step behind you. 100% right now. You are ready to do that. I think that there's this feeling of, and I've put up question box before and I've said like, what's keeping you from starting your business, or what are your fears around starting your business? And people will say something like, I want to make sure it's worth it. And obviously using the term worth it feels a little bit nebulous, but I think people's expectations are a little bit misconstrued. And so this may be an expectation management issue. So I only feel like it's worth it if I make $1 million, then that's the only way it's worth it. Or if I get all the results in 5 seconds, then it'll be worth it. Or do I need this to replace my income right now, immediately? Like, how urgent are you? And if you find yourself feeling as though you're going to give up everything else and go all in on this, no wonder you haven't started. You're making it way too big in your head. You're making it way too big in your head. You can simply start posting on social. You don't even have to ask for money until you're ready. But there is absolutely 100% no downside to starting to build your personal brand on the internet. Meaning you need content. You need posts. You need to press publish. So this is kind of the same advice we would give to someone who wants to lose weight or to get healthier, right? We're not like, I think for like oftentimes I'm trying to think about taking on a client who wants to lose, 50 pounds. What we would probably tell that person is just make one small change at your next meal, right? Have a little more protein, have some more veggies. Don't wait until Monday, go work out today. These small changes. But for someone who wants to lose 50 to 100 pounds, they feel like they are at the bottom of Everest, looking up and being like, oh my God, I feel so far away from the goal that they don't even start. And maybe you are feeling that way about business, because you're looking at those people who have massive success. They have massive businesses. They're making a ton of money because you see it on social media. And you're like, you're at the bottom of Mount Everest looking up and going, well, if I can't even compete with that, why even start? Y'all, it's the same thing we tell to a client who had a big goal. Break it down into smaller chunks. Start small. Every little bit counts. And yet we don't take the same advice when it's us. We're like, well, it needs to be perfect and I have to do the whole thing all the way right away, or else it's not worth it, or else what am I doing? And so I do think this is a matter of, it's not that you can't. So the person said, I feel like I'm stuck mode and I just can't do it. It's like you can, but the reason why you're holding yourself back is because you are making it way bigger in your mind than it actually is. Starting a business is simple. It's maybe not easy. Overcoming a lot of those mindset challenges is not easy, but I can tell you the one way to do it is to start taking small action. So it's the same thing we would tell a client where we're like, hey, go work out today. They haven't worked out in years. We're like, get a workout in today. And then, for them, they're like, what's even a workout doing? I have 50 pounds to lose. What's even a workout going to do? What's a single salad going to do? And we're like, well, no, it's not going to do much. But if you do a salad every day and you work out 3 to 5 times a week, guess what? That's doing a lot. And so it's the same thing with business. It's like, okay, well, it's going to take a while to get to the level. But like my whole thing is that I'm looking at someone who's like way further ahead of me or like has the success that I want. I feel urgency to fucking get started. I don't assume I'm going to be there, but I'm like, yo, every second I'm waiting, I'm even further behind. So why not get started? And so here's where I want to give you a couple of solutions. And now that we kind of understand mindset wise what's going on, I'm sure, if you're in this boat or you kind of, resonate with this, you're probably like, yeah, that makes sense. Those mindset challenges, that uncertainty, the feeling of all or nothing, all these kind of things. What do I now do about it? So I'll give you some of my actions. Of course, besides joining Post to Profits, which of course is going to help you create some low risk wins. I can't tell you how many people who join things like this that I've done in the past literally take way more fucking action in 8 days than they ever would on their own, because there's an energy and an accountability within that container. So accessing the container, even at a very, when I say like low risk, I mean like literally it's free. So if you're like, I'm scared, it's like, we'll do it with other people who are also doing it and who are trying to get in the energy of taking action. That's of course why something like Post Profits exists. So get into something like that. It's free. Link in the show notes. Get in a container where action is the norm, right? Get in a container where action is the norm. Of course, this is why I love coaching. This is why I love mentorship. This is why I love something like FBA, because oftentimes I'll have my FBA students like 2 or 3 months into their journey with me. And I'll be like, can you guys imagine if you didn't start when you did? And they'll be like, no, because they've literally posted dozens, if not hundreds of times. And they were like, I cannot believe how much action I've taken. And if I hadn't done that, how far behind I would be. And again, not that it's some kind of race, but it is a content game. It is a body of work game. It is a trust building game, which means we have to get started sooner rather than later. The second thing I would do if I were you is I would declare it publicly. This is a productivity tool and it doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but I'll never forget the first time I did a fitness competition. I did a figure show back in 2006, and it was up until that point, doing that diet was probably the hardest thing I'd ever done. Doing a competition diet, if you ever done it, was like probably the hardest thing I'd done. Like, and it surprised me how hard it was. Y'all, if I had not told every single fucking person in the gym that I was doing it, I would have definitely stopped dieting 100%, because I was like, wow, this is really hard. Do I really need to do this? Right. But I was like, I told everyone I'm doing it. I've been dieting for months. I paid the show registration. I bought this fucking $1,000 suit I'm going to wear. Like, I was just like, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. The fear of embarrassment is going to keep me. I'm going to fucking diet. So I just did it because I put myself on the hook publicly. I still do this with any time we launch a new offer, a new program. You guys know we launched Strategy Lab, our intermediate level program last year. I did a whole like 5-episode podcast series leading up to the launch. That was like, let me see how much skin I can get in the game before I launch, because it's going to keep me on the hook to do it. Now, at this point, I don't know that I need a lot of public accountability. I just do it because I want to do it. But I think if you're really struggling with productivity, you're really struggling with getting over the initial hump of getting started, saying it out loud, saying it on the internet, saying it to your friends and family, and putting yourself on the hook in a big way publicly, I think really helps. I also believe that getting a mentor who can help you maintain perspective and stay clinical as you grow is really important, meaning like not feeding the anxiety. Because I believe when you have and I can't tell you how many times in the last 5 years, my own mentor has helped give me some perspective. So, whatever, if we're seeing things happening in the economy or we're seeing things happening in the space or whatever, and my mentor always has perspective for me. And it's not, gaslighting, it's not spiritual bypassing. It's literally just like, can I share with you a different perspective? And there always is a way to keep moving forward when you adjust your perspective. And sometimes I just can't see what that is. And I do believe that having a mentor who keeps you from catastrophizing, who helps you see possibility, who helps you stay as clinical and as objective as inevitable challenges are going to come up, I really feel like that is a gift. And whether you have to pay for that or whether you can get into some kind of free group or something like that, I do believe that having some kind of mentorship, this is of course what FBA is for, is because you don't have the perspective. And as someone who's been doing business for a long time, I've seen a lot of different things. I've seen a lot of changes in the space. So I can speak from experience. I can speak from having gone through many different iterations of JillFit and come out on the other side just fine, and giving and lending that perspective to a client. And of course, that's why I love, that's why I love FBA. It's why I love Strategy Lab. It's why I love my mastermind. And I love being a part of a mastermind. I love having mentorship because it helps me adjust my own perspective. And when I say stay clinical and not feed the anxiety, there's this story, and I'll leave you guys with this. My dad he's had a lot of different jobs, but my dad has been a serial entrepreneur. He's also worked in a large management role, like for grocery chains. So he's always been in the grocery and distribution business. And he was telling me this story. He was like regional manager of a lot of grocery stores, and he would go to the different stores and he would kind of get to know like some of the employees. And he was at one of his stores and he had a young kid, like 18, 19-year-old kid, who just like having the worst day. He was like so stressed out, and he's like nothing's going right and he's messing up at work. And my dad's like, "Hey man, you okay?" And the guy's so like upset about something, a mistake he made or whatever. And my dad just looks at him and goes, "Hey man, it's just groceries. They come in the back of the store. They go out the front of the store. That's it. It's just groceries, man." And he told that story because it's like, yes, are there things that need to be done well? Sure. But if you really just distill it down, like it's just content. It's just putting up a post. It's just getting your first client. Like it's not all of these things that we make it mean. It's not that serious. It's just groceries, man. And it completely changed the guy's attitude, of course. That's, I think, what a good mentor can do for you, is to say, yeah, like I know there's some things that we want to take seriously, but don't take them personally, right? It's really important. Like, yes, take it seriously, but don't take it personally. What can we do here? And that's why I do believe that having a mentor who has a lot of experience, my dad had been in that industry for years and years and years and at multiple different positions and multiple different levels. So he was able to speak from a place of experience. This guy was a young guy, just, working the shelves at the thing, like hadn't had all that perspective. And so that's an example of what I believe is how you can start taking massive action in the direction of your goals, is having someone facilitate that for you. And I'm obviously a product of mentorship as well. So those are some solutions for you guys, some tactical things you can do. But I do believe that if you are in this boat and you're like, you know what, Jill, that makes sense. I don't know if I want to start this business. It feels really big. It feels really scary. There's a lot of uncertainties. You have to get someone to show you the ropes. And you can do that in a very low stakes, low risk way by joining something like Post to Profits, which is 100% free. And at the end of those 8 days, if you're like, yep, okay, not for me or whatever, what happens for most people during an experience like this is they go, wow, like I never felt like I could actually do this, or, I never heard it explained so simply or something like that. Especially if you listen to this podcast, you guys know that I'm going to break stuff down. I'm going to make it make sense so that you can take action. I want to make it make sense, just like you guys would do for your own clients, break it down into small action steps that feel doable. So we're not sitting and staring up at Mount Everest going, there's no friggin' way I can get up there because it's just too big. Let's just start here, right? No one expects you to be making $1 million, but I do expect that you're going to post on social media a couple times this week. Like, let's start there. Cool. All right. Link is in the show notes. If you guys need anything, let me know. Hopefully this was useful, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye, y'all.